Joining me today is Bunny Paine-Clemes. And I have to tell you, Bunny is a friend and a mentor and a teacher, all of those things, just so many. Also, a published author. And one of her recent books is Creative Synergy, and Bunny's here to talk with us about that today. So, hi, Bunny.
Hi, Jennifer. It's so wonderful to be with you today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. And I would love for you to first, right off the bat, Creative Synergy is an amazing title, but tell us, what exactly does that mean?
Creative Synergy was a title I got many years ago, and I thought, what am I to do with this title? Is it the title of a consulting practice or a book or what? So I started making notes, and eventually I got a sabbatical and wrote a book about it. Creative Synergy means, first of all, you align yourself with the divine spirit and you synergize your spirit with the divine spirit. And the early part of the book talks about this type of synergy. But there are other synergies as well. You have to synergize the different aspects of yourself. For example, your conscious and your unconscious mind. Sometimes your conscious mind is saying, let's write this book. And your unconscious mind is saying, eh. There's something down here that does not like the idea of writing that book. And so the two of them fight and you have a block. So you have to synergize the conscious and the unconscious mind. You have to synergize the different parts of your talent. Who are you really as an artist? Are you someone who's supposed to be creating for the masses? Are you somebody who's supposed to be reaching a particular audience? As Edgar Cayce says, you must have your ideal. You must have your mission in life. So you need to synchronize your efforts with your mission in life and align yourself with that purpose. You need to figure out what your talents are and what they're not. I use Ken Wilber's system to organize the book Creative Synergy. And Ken Wilber talks about a 4-quadrant process. And one of those quadrants is the individual I. So you look at yourself. What are my talents and abilities? What are my shortcomings? What kind of work do I want to do? And then the other quadrant, the next one, is the we, according to Wilber. We, he says, is the miracle of we. When you find another person to work with, a group to work with, there's a magical synergy that occurs there, and it creates a whole greater than the sum of its parts. Andrew Cohen calls that a super-holon. A super-holon that I'm now involved with is Atlantic University, Edgar Cayce's university, and Jennifer is a student there. And she will tell you that when you get in a course in Atlantic University, you start building a super-holon with the other students in the course. There's a wonderful magical sense of connection and camaraderie. Sometimes people find this with a partner. I have a student right now who is married to her creative partner, and she says it's just like in one of the chapters of my book when I talk about Simone Signoret and not Signoret, Simone Beauvoir and John Paul Sartre. They had shared lives and partnership, and she has this with her husband. So the we is larger than the I, and sometimes we need the whole we. Lennon and McCartney needed one another, and when they quit working together, I think most people will agree that their work was not as good. So Wilber says the first quadrant is the I, the second quadrant is the we, the third quadrant is the thing in itself, and this is the artwork that we are producing. It's the garden or the book or the painting or the child care that is perfectly in tune with your child, or the connection that you have with your pet. I have a bunny rabbit, and I have a close connection with him, as Jennifer knows. He picks up all of my thoughts and feelings, so I have to be in a good mood around the bunny. So, so the it is what you're creating. You look at the book, you look at the musical score, you look at the painting. Does it need any more revision? Does it reach its desired audience? Is it drawing on the best in me, and will it draw out the best in others? We have enough slasher films. We need wonderful works of art, movies, books, paintings, sculptures that will cause people to reach toward the greatest in themselves, to reach toward the divine. So that's the third quadrant. The fourth quadrant consists of systems. We're in different systems, which we can view externally. Do they help your creativity, or are they toxic to your creativity? My students in my Atlantic University creativity class wrote a paper on that this week, and some identified bosses that had created toxic structures, and the people who were trying to operate in these structures could not do their best job because the boss was in some way or the other frustrating them. And I've been in bad situations like that. I've been a teacher for 48 years, mainly in public schools, public colleges. I just retired from the California State University system, and I've had my share of bosses like that. You just cannot do your job well. On the other hand, you get a wonderful organization like Atlantic University, and that nurtures creativity, and that nurtures the best in everyone, and it helps us all be our best possible people as we're working with one another and nurturing the students and helping one another. So that would be the fourth quadrant, and as I mentioned, I organized Creative Synergy on Ken Wilber's 4 quadrants, but creative synergy is so much more than that. It's being all that you can be, and that's the subtitle of the book, Self-Actualization. Be all that you can be by synchronizing all of the parts of yourself, getting them functioning on a very high vibration. I just came back from the ARE Congress in Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach has such a high vibration. I was functioning on a whole different level when I was there. I want to encourage everyone to visit there. It's a fantastic place. And sometimes when you go back home to your regular environment, you have what one of my students calls life's miasma that pulls you down. You have the sick spouse, or the pet that needs attention, or the job that suddenly falls apart. And it's very, very hard to keep synergistically on that high level. So creative synergy means being at your top level. And there are many ways to do this. My whole book has exercises that talks about different ways to energize yourself vis-a-vis the different quadrants and chapters. And the conclusion talks about 20 tips from the chapters that you can use. And the first tip is from Robert Sternberg, a specialist in creativity. He says, make the decision. Make the decision to be creative. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to have a garden and throw some things down. Decide, I am going to have a magical creative garden where I can sit and meditate, and where the butterflies will come, and where I can talk to the plants and they will bloom beautifully. You make the decision to cook that creative dish.